I'm Justine Caldwell. I'm a Democrat. I'm here to talk to Democrats, and I'm here representing Democrats. More specifically, I have the resolutions of 6 Democratic town committees that have taken a public stand on the Reproductive Healthcare Act: Portsmouth, Warren, North Kingstown, South Kingstown, Barrington, and my town of East Greenwich. If I can, I have the resolutions to give to you now.
Sure. One of the pages, we'll get them from you and make copies for us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm here to point out that's a big change. In East Greenwich, the town committee had never supported any legislation ever. I'm sure Senator Raptakis noticed this change when he came to speak at one of our meetings, and the only thing our members were interested in talking about was this piece of legislation. The senator very gamely tried to change the subject to topics he thought would be more interesting to us, but he was outnumbered by the new, activated, and largely female membership that now makes up our committee. Senator G2 represents East Greenwich, and I know that he's been contacted by many constituents, and I know he received our resolution and thanked me for my advocacy. So thank you, Senator. But Senator G is a Republican, and tonight I'm here to talk to the Democrats. Democrats overwhelmingly control the legislature here in Rhode Island, and that's why this has to be a conversation among Democrats. And in the Democratic Party, there is a sea change underway, and I want to make sure that change is as visible to everyone as it was to Senator Raptakis that night in East Greenwich. East Greenwich isn't the only place that's changing. At the Women's March in Washington, D.C., I stood with hundreds of thousands of women in solidarity with millions around the country and with thousands here in Providence who were no longer willing to stand by while others made decisions about their lives. Here in Rhode Island, I'm sure even Senator Goldin was surprised when I showed up at the first meeting of the Democratic Women's Caucus and there wasn't even room to sit down. When Senator Goldin and her co-chairs organized the Women's Caucus, I'm not sure what they expected, but the amount of Democratic women in Rhode Island who want to be involved in politics is as overwhelming as it is progressive. When women show up to these meetings, they expect to see the party who nominated Hillary Clinton. They expect to see the party for which Bernie Sanders was a strong presidential contender, a progressive party that stands for gender equality. When they start to learn that that isn't the way the Democratic Party works in Rhode Island, they start thinking about how to create a party that will stand up for them. It may have felt in the past that the safest choice for a Democrat was to dodge this issue. But I am here to tell you that is no longer true. As of now, the best political choice a Democrat can make is to stand with us in support of safe and legal access to abortion. In East Greenwich, there was a group of women who mobilized to get our resolution in support of the Reproductive Healthcare Act passed. These women are physicians, lawyers, professionals. They are mothers with young children, like myself. Some of them are the women who might have been too busy before the election of Donald Trump to get involved so fully and so immediately in local politics. But within days of introducing this resolution, and what I didn't expect, was that I had women taking time out of their day to call me on the phone, to come and sit in my living room while we parked our kids in front of Curious George, telling me how important this issue was to them and how they were unwilling to compromise with Democrats who thought taking a stand on abortion was risky. We are not women whose concerns can be swept aside or whose heads can be patted or who will be satisfied with you sticking your head in the sand. But it wasn't just women. When I sent out the email that we were going to vote on this resolution, I had a man reply and ask when and where the next meeting was. And then Bill showed up to that meeting a week later and said he was there just to cast a vote in support of the resolution. We had another man, a retired airline pilot named Bob, who called passing the resolution a no-brainer. My message to Democrats tonight is this: don't think it's good politics to try to sidestep this. That's no longer true. The right political choice, the no-brainer, for a Democrat is to side with us, to take a stand in support of safe and legal access to abortion. If this is morally difficult for you, and it's hard for you to stand with us, then we're ready to engage with you, and we will work to earn your vote by telling you our stories. I respect those moral objections. I worked on the same-sex marriage campaign in Maine, where literally my job was to engage with people who had objections and persuade them to change their minds. So when I say we want to change your mind, I'm not being hostile, I'm being hopeful. And I hope that all of you Democrats will engage with us. Standing with women is not a risk. Being a pro-choice Democrat is not a risk. Tonight I stand here not just as one person, but on behalf of many. I stand here on behalf of Democratic Town Committee who decided to take a stand, who felt it was worth it to stand up and say, that women controlling their own bodies is a non-negotiable Democratic issue. We are Democrats, you are Democrats, and the Democratic Party platform has supported Roe v. Wade since 1976. And we are no longer willing to wait for a Democratic committee in a Democratic legislature in a Democratic state to support a Democratic Party position. I can tell you on behalf of our town committee that Democrats will not be happy if our Democratic legislators do not act and vote in favor of the Reproductive Healthcare Act. Thank you.